Hi, baby. Yeah, come here.
No, you have a surprise in there. Go.
Come here.
Look who's here. Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is? This is Audrey. This is your little sister.
Mom.
Yeah, come here. Do you know who this is? This is baby Audrey. This is your little sister. Say hi, Audrey.
Hi. Hi, Daddy.
Hi, baby. It's baby Audrey.
Auntie.
Yeah, can you give her a kiss? Aww. Are you so happy she's here? Can we take her home?
Yeah.
You want to take her home?
Yeah.
Good. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time, and clearly some things have changed. I am not pregnant anymore. So the last update I gave you was like maybe 36 weeks. I don't even remember. I have to check. I've had some problem with my lens. The last month has been insane. So many reasons for why I haven't been recording, but I am back now, and I'm going to jump in, and I wanted to do my birth story for you guys. So really quick, if this is going to be a birth story, so it's probably going to be TMI. If you don't want to hear the in and outs of birth and like the nitty gritty details, then don't watch this. Just because I'm warning you now, there are some things that I might say that if you've never given birth or if you're squeamish, maybe you don't want to hear. So, but I'm just going to go right into it. So I was actually going to film a 39-week update for you guys on Sunday, April 29th. However, this little princess decided to make her appearance into the world. So, the week before I was pregnant, the week before I had Audrey, I had been walking like crazy. I walked 12 miles in 4 or 5 days. It was insane with me, Fiona, and 2 dogs, and I was 39 weeks pregnant. I was ready for her to come, but it looked like she was going to come when she was ready. So, at April 28th, I was 39 weeks and 1 day. So I had given up any hope that I was going to go into labor anytime soon. I had just been to the doctor 2 days prior, and I was only 1.5 centimeters dilated and only about 65% effaced. So at that point, I thought I still had some ways to go, but you never know. And that was on Thursday, so that was a couple days before she actually entered the world. So on Saturday, April 28th, we woke up, and for once, the weather was great. It was a little bit chilly, but it was just nice to be outside. The weather here in April was so up and down, and it had been cold for so long that we actually got a decent day that we were outside all day doing yard work. And I'm talking like we were raking, we were doing everything. We put up lights outside, we were planting some flowers, we did all kinds of stuff. I was on my feet basically all day. We were going to go for a walk, but then we decided to have a fire in our backyard, and we invited our friend over just kind of to hang out and relax. And I had pretty much given up any hope that I was going to go in labor anytime soon anyway. So we were just hanging out, but we had done yard work, like I said, all day. So at around 6 o'clock, I was making dinner, and I ran upstairs to use the bathroom, and when I used the bathroom, my mucus plug had completely came out. So if you don't know what your mucus plug is, because I never lost it with my first daughter, so I had no idea. If you lose it as one big plug like I did, there's no mistaking it. You'll know what it is. It looks like a big glob of snot. There's no nice way to put it. I did not have any blood associated with mine. Losing your mucus plug can either mean something or nothing. So at this point, I really wasn't sure. I could be pregnant for another week at that point, or maybe I would go into labor that night. However, I didn't have any contractions at all. Real fast, I'll go back. My doctor did sweep my membranes for me at 30. I went in on Thursday, or maybe I went in on, no, it was Thursday that I went in. So I was actually 38 and 6 the day that she swept my membranes, and that night I had some contractions, but they were pretty irregular, and they were Braxton Hicks. They didn't really, they were regular for about an hour, and they went away, and nothing happened. So after that happened, I had pretty much given up hope that anything was going to happen. So that was just a quick rewind really quick. So I had 0 contractions after I lost my mucus plug. However, I did have a small inkling that something might happen. So our friend came over, and we were all sitting out by the fire, and we were making s'mores with Fiona, and I happened to look up and see that it was a full moon, and they say that more babies are born on full moons. So I kind of thought that maybe this is it. So mother's intuition, call it what you want. I thought maybe I was going to go into labor that night. So I had put Fiona to bed, and then I had come back downstairs with my husband and his friend Nick, and we were sitting out by the fire, and it was about 10:30. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to go upstairs and shower just in case. Because if something happens, I don't want to go to the hospital smelling like a bonfire. So I went upstairs, and literally, but right before I got in the shower, I texted my friend Kelly, and I said, yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen at this point. I'm going to shower, I'm going to go to bed, and hopefully I wake up in labor, but who knows. So I texted her, and then I laid in my bed, and I was kind of just laying there, avoiding taking a shower. I knew I had to, but I was very tired. I'd been up on my feet all day. I was 39 weeks pregnant. And so I was just laying there, and the baby was kicking like crazy. Like, I was watching her move, and she was doing all these flips, and then I was like, I am definitely not going into labor, because everybody always says things get very quiet. But all of a sudden I felt this pop. I knew instantly that it was my water breaking, or at least I thought so, because even though I was induced with Fiona, my water did break on its own, and this was exactly what it felt like. It felt like a pop, like almost like if you were cracking your knuckles or something, but inside, and you can feel it and hear it. And she instantly stopped moving, and I was like, okay, well, I think my water just broke. So I was kind of afraid to get up out of bed, and I still hadn't showered at this point. So I went to the bathroom, and there was no gushing of water or anything. I sat in the toilet, nothing came out, but when I wiped, there was some blood. Not heavy red bleeding, but like light pink bleeding. So I definitely thought, okay, something's moving along. I do need to get in the shower because I smell like a bonfire. So when I got in the shower, I was standing there bathing, and then all of a sudden I did feel water coming out, and I looked down, and sure enough, there was some blood-tinged water that came out. And not a ton, so it was like a slow trickle for me. And so I called my husband upstairs, and I said, I'm 99% sure my water just broke. I'm going to call the doctor because I'm still not having any contractions. So he went downstairs and told his friend to beat it to go home, because we were going to be heading to the hospital, hopefully. So I got out of the shower. I called my doctor. I said, listen, I think my water broke. This is what happened, but I'm not having any contractions. And she told me, definitely sounds like your water broke. Please get to the hospital. I didn't know this before, but some women's water breaks and that starts their labor, and some people have contractions and that starts their labor. Apparently both of my labors were started by my water breaking. I was induced with Fiona, so I had contractions beforehand, but after my water broke naturally with her, everything got moving. So I think that my body, just my water breaks, and that's how I go into labor. That could be totally different with any future pregnancies I have, but we'll see. So I got to the doctor, or we went to the hospital about 11, and we got admitted right away because my water did break, and I was at about 3 centimeters, which for me was awesome because 2 days before I was only at 1.5 centimeters. So I took it. She was still kind of high, so the nurse asked me, was I getting an epidural, and all of that, and at that time I had said, I don't know. I think that I might wait for an epidural and see how long I can go. But that 5th contraction hit, and I was asking for the epidural right away. Audrey was sunny side up, just like Fiona was, so I was having excruciating back labor. And I just wanted the pain gone. So props to all those moms out there who do it without an epidural. I'm not one of them, and I probably will never be. And once I got the epidural, I felt so much better. I was in active labor, and my epidural didn't slow anything down. Everything was progressing the way it should. I had a gorgeous labor. And a couple hours later, about 4:40, well, she was born at 4:48 in the morning. So my epidural started to wear off, so I called the nurse, and she said, yeah, you're about 9.5. And so we're going to call the doctor in. And at this point, I could feel pretty much everything. So my epidural did wear off for the end. I could feel my contractions. And the nurse that I had and my doctor and the care team I had, they were unbelievable. It was the best experience ever. She was like, she told me, we're going to let your contractions do what they're meant to do and bring that baby all the way down so that you don't have to push for very long. And we did. We were waiting, and I was in pain, and it felt like we were waiting forever, and I felt like I needed to push, but we were waiting for the doctor. But sure enough, the contractions brought baby down all the way, and I only pushed for 3 minutes. I could feel everything, though. So and this feeling everything. So the doctor got in, and I really attribute my labor to my care team and my doctor being so great and letting my body do what it was meant to do and helping me when I needed the help, but really letting me control the labor when it got down into it. When it got down to it, I pushed, and I could feel her head at the opening, so I could feel it stretching, and it was very uncomfortable, and so at that point, I just had to get her out. I couldn't stand it. So the doctor told me, if you need to push now and you're not feeling a contraction, but you feel like you can push, just go. So I did, and I pushed my heart out, and I felt her head, and then came the shoulders, which hurt. It all hurt. It all hurt. I could feel everything. And so she came out pretty fast at 3 minutes of pushing, and she was done. But I had to get her out. When I could feel her head just sitting there, I could not sit there any longer, so I just pushed her out. And so she came out beautifully, and everything went really well. I don't know much else what to say. I could feel her stitching me up, which was very uncomfortable, but I didn't tear. Or I did tear, but I only had 3 small tears, and they were up more by my urethra. And she did stitch them just because they weren't stopping bleeding, but other than that, I didn't tear. And with my first daughter, I had an episiotomy, I had forceps, all kinds of stuff. It was insane. But this time, it was just a beautiful labor, and everything went so smoothly, and I felt great almost immediately after. Even the hours after, I just felt so great. I didn't feel super sore. I didn't take a ton of pain medication. My recovery was beautiful. So that was my birth. It was only 6 hours, and it was great. I have no complaints whatsoever. My nurse was great. My doctor, I love her. If anybody needs a doctor in the South Suburbs area, you know what, contact me, because my doctor was seriously the best doctor I've ever had. She was fantastic in the delivery room. She was fantastic when I was pregnant, and I could not have asked for a better doctor and a better experience. So at 4:48, Miss Audrey Jean made her appearance into the world at 6 pounds 4 ounces and 20 inches long. She was a teeny tiny little baby, which is very unexpected, and she does have hair, which was very unexpected as well. So yeah, that was my birth in a nutshell. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them. So she did come on her own. She did come early, and we're so happy you were here. So I will show you guys her now. She is about a month old now, so we are way behind. But this is Miss Audrey Jean. She's sleeping right now. She's gonna wake up to eat any minute, but she She's perfect in my eyes, but obviously I'm her mom. She loves to be swaddled, which is why she's swaddled now. This is how she sleeps. She loves to be swaddled and kept cozy. So yeah, the last month has been crazy. I am now a mom of 2 beautiful girls, and I'm loving every second of it. I am going to do a 1-month update for you guys, and kind of a life update about how my life is. I am home for maternity leave, so you will be seeing a lot more from us now that I finally got my bearings, as much as I can, for being home and taking care of 2 children and 2 dogs, and life is crazy, but I'm loving every second of it. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more from us. We will see you very soon. Again, thank you so much for watching. See you later.